Where to Hunt Podcast. It's okay. It's okay.
Hi, I'm Dan Small, host of Outdoor Wisconsin, and I listen to Where to Hunt.
It's okay.
I'm Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bow Hunter. I listen to Where to Hunt Podcast, and it's decent.
It's all right.
Hey, this is Bud Fisher with Catching Deers, and I think the Where to Hunt podcast is all right.
It's weak as shit.
We're making a tradition of this.
This silly can koozie kind of dulls the spirits.
Oh, man. Keeps them cold. Well,
Yeah.
howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Where to Hunt Podcast, the podcast that connects public land hunting enthusiasts. Today is August 4th. It's a Tuesday. And episode 140-something. Coming at you from the OKest Hunter Podcast studio, of course. And, you know, we can say that because we're okay. Be sure to head on over to okesthunter.com and buy some of their stuff, support conservation, have a good time. That's it. That's what they're all about. Ending buck shaming as we know it. Hashtag no buck shame. If you see some buck shaming going on social media, use that hashtag and we'll send the whole army on them. So that's pretty neat. What's up, Greg? Oh, yeah. I'm Eric, by the way.
We know who you are. I think they know who I am.
No one knows who I am. If you're a new listener, you don't know who the hell I am. What's up, new listeners?
What's up?
So, what's up? What's up in your neck of the woods?
Not a whole lot.
You got your God, that shit's strong. You got your arrows all tuned up?
Arrows are tuned. I got 4 ready to kill in the quiver. Bear shaft, knock tuned, fletched, broadhead tuned. We're ready to roll.
Oh, man. All right. You got the Tetra on?
Tetra's been on. The
Tetra's been on.
the Tetra's been on, bro. Vertus has been on. Everything's working. Everything's clicking. Everything's going where it's got to go. I'm confident out to 40 yards so far. So
That's awesome. I got my Tetra on. You helped me. You did it. You put it on there for me. I got to send my old one to Ardent Archers, donating that to vets. And
Cool.
I think I forgot what I'm going to do with that rest or that drop. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I'm dialed in at 40. And I think that means I'm dialed in more than that too, based on how that thing works.
Yeah, and it depends on the weight of your arrows too. There's other tapes with it, but for now, I think you're pretty well set to go. If you get the rest of your order the rest of your arrows, you should be in good shape.
Yeah, those things drop fast. Well, let's get into some sponsorship stuff.
All right, let's do it.
Whether you're at work, in a tree stand, or simply waking up, it's important to be alert. And there's no better way to get there than with Backwoods Grind Coffee. Ground fresh for every order, delivered straight to your door. Backwoods Grind Coffee. Take a look at your feet. Are you wearing Gum Leaf USA boots? If you said no, you gotta reevaluate some things. Each pair is handmade and tested to take over 1 million flexes. These boots will take just about anything you can throw at them. Use promo code W2H2020 for 10% off your final purchase at gumleafusa.com.
All right, so, I'm still going to go back and talk about Backwoods Grind for 3 seconds because if you go to their website, first of all, it smells like coffee. I haven't said that in a long time.
Still haven't edited.
No, it takes too much time, bro. What do we got time for that? Backwoodsgrind.com. Use code W2H Podcast, and you get 10% off. Look, if you need some coffee, I'm telling you, this is it. You got to go try it out. Just trust me. Or ask anybody else on the internet that's had Backwoods Grind coffee.
It's quite good.
I've fallen in love with it, so...
You fall in love with a lot of things. Hopeless romantic.
Oh, shit.
All right, so I'm going to screw up my part here and say if you're looking for a custom built to your spec arrow, look no further than Vector Custom Shop. Head on over to vectorcustomshop.com. You can select from a test pack, just 2 arrows built to however you want them, and test them out. And then when you figure out what you want, you can order a half dozen or a dozen. When you do that, enter code WHERE2HUNT and that'll save you 10% at vectorcustomshop.com. There. I'm done. Clear. I didn't screw it
No,
up.
I'm just making it awkward for you.
I know you're trying to, and I'm just going to keep talking like an idiot.
That's how I feel every day.
Well, we're good at it. That's why we're okay.
Anyway, here to talk like an idiot with us, probably to...
No, he's better than okay.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I've followed this guy since he came out. Been a pretty...
Came out?
Yeah,
Whoa,
since
whoa.
he came out, man. Since he hit the scene.
There we go.
Yeah, since he hit the DeerHunter podcast scene.
Kevin, what's up? Kevin Vistisen with DeerHunter Podcast, hanging out with us.
Yeah, apparently I came out.
You came out of the
We had
closet,
to start it weird.
out of the plumbing truck.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do, man.
Straight out
It's
of
2020. I don't
Detroit.
even know. Is it even coming out anymore?
No, it's pretty normal. Live and let live.
2020.
It's 2020.
Live and let live. Nice. I like that. How you doing over there, man? How are
really-
things in Michigan?
I'm real good. Can you guys hear me well?
Yeah, you break up a little bit once in a while, but if you're on a cell phone, it's going to be kind of difficult. Just like at my house, it's hard to hear people, or it's hard for them to hear me. So,
Did Greg just break up with me? What did I hear?
You're not going to get those weird late night texts anymore and those calls with the heavy breathing.
I know you acted like you wanted to talk about deer hunting at first.
That's how it always starts.
and shit given starts.
He knew my weakness.
He's a stalker. He's like been following me on Instagram for years.
you're
Oh, he's
brutal.
finally making a podcast. I can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait.
Now's my chance to make my move.
Gonna make my move.
When did you start DeerHunter Podcast? I remember talking to you when you were getting that thing off the ground.
I mean, it was a thought maybe 5 years ago, and 3.5 years or so now that it's actually been a semi-functioning product, So I think we're somewhere around 174 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
most part.
You've been cranking them
Yeah.
out.
For the most part, we get one out a week, but reality is sometimes we miss a week here and there. It's been a struggle for me this year, really. I'm working on quite a bit more than I have in the past. And I told myself going into this year, work was going to have to be prioritized. Thankful to have a really good job right now and be making good money. And I've got a family and everything. You don't know what. If 2020 is one thing, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next week. And I want to be even more prepared the next time something happens that is unforeseeable. And I feel like it's pretty important. One thing I learned in the last couple months is you better have your financial health and your physical health really, you better be in control of it, because who knows what's going to happen the following day. It was kind of a culture shock for me. I'm in my mid-30s. I don't, probably for you guys too, and anybody younger than us. We've really been living in some soft times, and you just kind of expect everything to be there tomorrow. So it's been a struggle this year just because with the podcast, because I've really kind of had to shift my mentality and realize, I'm in my upper 30s now. I'm not going to be able to do physical labor, until I'm 80 years old. So I got to have some priorities set, and I hope, in the following years I'll be able to. This is the DeerHunter Podcast is really a marathon for me. I never look at it with the sprinter's mentality, like I got to be putting the most content out or I have to be the most consistent. My thought process always is that I'm going to be doing this for a real long time. So be very cautious to not burn myself out and not put, my family or anybody else's priorities ahead of or put mine ahead of my family.
There you go.
Priorities. Yeah, I said that.
It's been a long day, I'm sure.
Wrong first time. Oh, well, honestly, I opened a beer. It's just sitting here. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to decide whether to move or not. I just got back from a weekend over in Illinois, and I was hanging out with Kurt Geyer and the working class bow hunter crew. And not that I'm in recovery mode, but I'm kind of in recovery mode.
I bet. Those guys know how to do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's happening in my neck of the woods. I am doing a lot of deer hunting stuff. Actually, I've got Chad and Jake, the guys from Exodus, are coming here Thursday to shoot an episode of Whitetail Cribs.
Sweet.
No shit.
So-
You're going to get famous, man, on YouTube. You're going to be on my big screen.
Have you watched any of those?
Oh, yeah.
I've watched all of them, I think.
Have you? I've watched a handful. I haven't had a ton of time to consume content. I've been stuck watching. I don't even know what cartoons are.
Bubble Guppies and Dora the Explorer and all the other cool stuff.
No, we're past that stuff. Actually, I enjoyed that more than what we're getting into now. Now we're getting into some kind of weird stuff. But the story is essentially, if my 5-year-old is asleep, usually I am too. And so there hasn't been much time for Dad to consume any kind of content. So I've been diligent about it, but I did get to watch a few of the Whitetail Cribs episodes, and geez, I've had a relationship with Chad and Jake and those guys between us and the DeerHunter Podcast since before it started. To be honest with you, those guys are our long-term supporter. Not that they're even like an official sponsor of the show. We don't really have sponsors.
Right.
But, they are our family. I'll say that. That's kind of how I look at those guys. Those guys are incredible friends. I look at them as family. And we haven't seen each other in, well over a year. So I'm excited to actually see them this week and have them come here. And they're going to, like I said, shoot an episode of Whitetail Cribs. And we're going to go out and hang some tree stands and put a food plot in and do some camera stuff. So I'm pretty jacked up about that.
Sweet.
That's cool, man. They going to spend the whole weekend with you then? They're coming from Ohio, right?
They're in Michigan right now. They're at the moment sitting, I saw out in the woods, recording a podcast out in the forest, which looked awesome. What a great idea. I've done that before with Dan Infault, and it really sets the tone for a good podcast. But they're doing that with
John Eberhard. Yep.
Yeah. So they're up in Michigan, and they're touring around Michigan talking to guys that live to deer hunt. And there's not really a shortage of those kind of guys here in Michigan. Obviously, guys are in Wisconsin. It's very similar. Wisconsin, PA, Michigan, really die hard, gritty deer camp. Bunch of dudes occupying an area, stinking it up.
Absolutely. It's a tradition all across our whole region, I think. Even in Minnesota, you don't see it as much as in the Dakotas, but Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan,
Iowa,
Illinois
even.
Iowa's probably not quite as much, but
Ohio.
No.
And half Illinois comes up here, at least they used to, so but
yeah.
Michigan's a hard state to hunt though. Like it's not, I think if you get it done there, it's impressive.
Yep.
I mean, same thing here. It's crowded as shit where we hunt. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of deer though too, if you can do it right.
I almost feel like there's as many Wisconsin deer hunters.
Not like there used to be.
When you look at the license sales, it's there's quite a few less than what there is in Michigan. And I don't know what the land mass differential is. We have the UP, which kind of makes numbers look, it's kind of deceiving because there's a ton of ground in the UP and not a ton of people hunt there. I would venture to say 75% of the hunting pressure in the state of Michigan is below the bridge in the lower peninsula. It could be more than that, to be honest with you. The hunters per square acre, the density in the UP compared to the lower peninsula, I don't know what that number is, but I know there's far more hunters in the woods in the lower, and there's just way less property. So if you go to the UP, you can really escape that pressure. And that's something that I actually look forward to doing here in the upcoming years. That's what I really enjoy, big woods hunting and deer camp, things of that nature. I do hunt some smaller properties down here in southern Michigan, but rarely do I have as enjoyable of a deer hunt as I do going on my little expeditions up north. So,
And you guys, so when you're in the big woods, when you're doing your hunting over there, I mean, because the photography you get, the videography you get, the deer camp that you have, it's, I told you when you're on the podcast last time, it's like you've captured the quintessence of deer hunting pretty vividly. Is that in the UP where you have the Airstream, or is that in the lower peninsula, just in the northern part?
yeah, that's in the northern part of the lower.
The pigeon.
How big are those woods? Is that like the
pigeon's huge.
Is that like the Nicolet here? Would you compare it?
It's probably bigger than Nicolet.
Really?
Because the Nicolet,
how big is the?
I honestly, Kevin, I don't recall
quick
because
Google
it's
search
cut
away.
into like multiple pieces.
I actually, I think, yeah, collectively though, I think the Nicolet is giant.
It is giant.
Really?
I think I remember sending you some snapshots of it or whatever.
I kind of remember
2.3 million
I was interested.
acres.
2.3
How
million
much?
acres. 2.3 million acres.
Almost 2.4, but yeah,
Yeah, that's a big piece. So
I think that's right.
the PIC,
Yeah, sorry.
the Pigeon River Forest, specifically the area that we hunted, that we shot that film in, is like its own little. They have their own functioning body, like management body for that forest. That is the most pristine piece of wilderness in the lower peninsula. It's 105,000 acres, but
Okay.
it's attached to the Atlanta State Forest. That's, I believe, 150. And then the Gaylord State Forest, that's like 200 plus. And then really just connects to a bunch of other tracts of public up there. So, we have 7.2 million acres of public land here in Michigan. And obviously it's not all connected. A lot of that is up in the UP. But when you get into that northern part of the lower peninsula, there's public land everywhere. And you could just go and go and go and go.
It's hard to hunt when it's that vast.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really get terrain features off a map too well. I mean, you can see elevation if you get the right layers, but you're just seeing trees everywhere. You got to have boots on the ground, and that's a lot of ground to cover. And the deer can be spread out. Like, how do you? I mean, that's more tactical, I suppose. Like how you tackle that and approach it, but it's vast. I mean, hunting Nicolet is, I can relate to it that way. It's hard to figure out.
You
what's
got
what.
Nicolet, and then you've got all the little fingers and pieces that are paper company land here, where it's leased, and you'll get to know it for maybe 15, 20 years, and all of a sudden they log it all off, which is great because then you get a clear cut, and you watch it grow up and get better because they clear cut all that pulpwood off of it. But you gotta hunt where the clear cut's best. And we've had spots when I used to hunt up north, we just completely quit hunting them because there was no cover there. There's no cover with decent stem count. There's no point in hunting it. So you move on to the next piece, and then sometimes you find stuff that's even better. So I don't know. It's part of hunting. You learn how to use your gear and move around and be mobile.
Greg knows better than I do.
I don't know shit.
He knows better than I do about everything.
No,
I'll
no,
tell you
no.
that right now.
I'm
Greg
still
knows
okay.
better than I do for sure about fishing.
Anytime you want to come over here, I'll take you.
Beers on us.
Beers on us.
Fish and deer, similar.
Yep.
If you kind of know the habitat that they need, the structure.
Mm-hmm.
When guys that are really good at fishing go fishing, they're not just like, hey, maybe I'll go here, or hey, maybe I'll go there. Like, there's a whole bunch of reasons why they're going where they're going.
Right.
And I feel like that's big woods deer hunting. The last few years, I don't know, it could just potentially be that I'm getting luckier and luckier, but I don't think so. I spend a lot of time.
I think you're starting to have things click now, and I've reached that point too where things kind of click for me, and I look at something going on, whether it's a path where how it's beat down or how the area is used. You see the rubs, you see the scrapes, or you see the red brush, or you see, you know, you see conifer trees or something there that says, yep, this is where they bed. And you go in there and you use your eyeballs. I mean, you and I both went through that workshop together with Infault, and it was a light bulb moment for a few things, and a lot of it was just, okay, yeah, that is what I thought what it is. You know, it makes sense now. So I think since that, we can definitely say that Dan has helped us with that stuff. It kind of helped us piece together some things, help confirm some things. So you just keep going, right? It was probably more inspirational for you and for me to get out and scout more.
Yeah, scouting's huge. Like Eric said about the looking on the phones and looking for, I don't know if it's so much topography. I guess it breaks down to topography, but deer seem to do real well and really like diverse ecosystems. They're not typically a fan of like a monoculture ecosystem where it's just 10 acres of maple trees or 10 acres of soybeans. You know, they like intersecting ecosystems. And the more of that you can find, I typically find is where deer like to concentrate. If you can find where Oak Ridge comes down into some, you know, maybe immature pine growth that transitions into a cedar swamp and butts up to a 10-year-old clear cut of tag alder, you're going to be in the business, man. There's going to be some deer around. You
have a ton of transition there. You have all sorts of transition, and you and I both know whitetails are edge and transition creatures. That's where they love to be. That's where security is. They're in the clear for a minute. They hear something, smell something. They're back in the thick. It's right there for them.
Yeah, somebody said to me, I don't know who I heard say this, but it might have been John Eberhard that said if a deer doesn't have something touching it, it's typically not going to be comfortable.
I've heard John say that.
Yeah, I think it was John that said that, and I think that's pretty accurate. You know, they like to be in cover, and that's why I love going up there. There's an endless supply. Specifically, that forest. Why I love that forest is, well, one, it gets some funding for conservation projects and management projects for the elk herd that's up there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of unique in that capacity that some of the work that's being done in that forest is for a lot of the work being done up there is for elk, and the deer benefit from that greatly. You know, I guess that's the catch-22 for the deer. The elk are kind of rough on the deer in the capacity that they definitely browse up higher than the deer can. They can really wipe out food sources.
Sure.
And really make it tough on the whitetails up there. But people value elk immensely, and the Department of Natural Resource, you know, they get funded to put quite a bit of money into, you know, habitat projects up there. So I think it kind of works itself out. But yeah, they also have a very good program up there for the way that they select, cut, and do timber harvest. And I believe it is, they don't do sections smaller than 40 acres. They do select cut based on stem count or whatever they're taking out. And it's really done in the name of science, exclusively the timber harvest up there. And they do an outstanding job of moving around. And, you know, every time they do a cut, they're potentially putting tons of new foliage on the ground for the wildlife. They just keep moving around and doing all these cuts that are managed through, you know, biologists and science through the state. And it really, really creates an amazing ecosystem. I feel like they've got it pretty dialed in up there with cutting that they do in comparison to the amount of mature cedar swamps that we have and winter habitat. It's the last couple of years up there has been really exciting for me, and like we were alluding to, you know, just start to pay more and more attention and do things differently, and don't get stuck in like a rigid mentality. Be flexible, kind of play their game. If you go into this mentality, you're going to play their game, not try to get them to play your game, seems to work out a lot better for me.
Yeah, you're definitely going to succeed more if you're willing to change it up and move around and find the new food sources. And like you said, you follow that along and you're going to see more stuff.
Do you know where the Michigan DNR is kind of doing what you're talking about? Are you kind of following along? Well, like, I know you're following along, like you're aware of what's happening, but are you following along quite literally and like, okay, I know they updated this property 2 years ago. This should be looking good now. Are you finding yourself in some of those areas that they're working or?
Yeah, I have local friends through that, actually some relationships that have been established through the podcast. I have grown to have some pretty good friends up in that area. These guys run bear dogs. They hunt, they're any time of the year. They're out in the pigeon. They're either flying, running bear dogs, picking mushrooms. They live in the forest. They know exactly what's going on.
Yep.
So really, I just kind of found those guys. You got to use your resources. That's one thing that I definitely am not shy in admitting, man. I'll make a ton of phone calls and get as much information as I possibly can. Heck, dude, I've had guys just send me pins and be like, hey, this is a sweet spot. My dad killed a couple good bucks out of here. We don't live in Michigan anymore. Go hunt it. Really? Okay.
I'll check it out. Be there tomorrow.
Wow, this is sweet. Yeah.
Never look a gift horse in the mouth twice. I mean, you got to take advantage of some of the things that are given to you.
100%. Yeah, I'm not shy about it. And I give people as much information as I can. Anybody that would ever inquire to me about anything, we get a handful of inquiries, people asking how to start a podcast. I'm happy to answer those questions. Bow tuning, it's not really my thing, but I can typically point them in the right direction. Arrow building, cooking, venison, anything that I can share with people, I will.
Sure. Well, and you can speak.
Not typically, but
that's how it should be, though. That's how it should be. There's a lot of people that are entering into the hunting community. They're trying to learn. They've never been through it before. I talked to a guy that was 42, never hunted before, just got his hunter safety license. No one showed him. He didn't have a dad, a grandpa, an uncle, a friend. No one showed him. He just wanted to provide, know where his meat came from. So he started doing archery, and then he, got himself outfitted with some gear, got a bow, figured out where to go. I mean, that's hard and challenging if you've never done it before, especially at 42, and how shitty it would be if someone said, can't hunt here, pal. This ain't the spot for you. It's hard to turn people away that are eager to learn. I love bringing new people in the woods. I think I've introduced 7 people to hunting here in Wisconsin, and I put them on spots where they'll at least see a doe, right? They'll see some activity or action, and they have a ton of fun. I'm willing to give up any spot that I think might be good, which, by the way, we all know my spots are okay. They're not like I know what the hell I'm doing.
My spots are pretty okay, to be honest with you. I got a couple spots that I don't share. They're spots that they're my spots that have the best promise to actually hold a big mature buck, and they're really hard to find. And so there's a couple that I hold close to my heart, but for the most part, yeah, I love taking guys out, and I'll be conscious that I want to put them in a spot where they're going to see deer. 2, it's just going to be, even if they don't see deer, like the landscape. You won't get tired of looking at the landscape, even if you sat there for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's one thing I really loved about hunting the Northwoods, or even in the driftless, like when we went to Wyalusing. Mm-hmm. It's
beautiful.
I had a babbling brook right underneath me for the most part, and you could dream about a big deer crossing that brook and going up and bedding in the hills right behind me, but it never happened. I saw more hunters than anything.
It happened when you weren't there.
Right, and then I bounced it out of its bed, too, when I did walk around. But anyway.
You got to get some moccasins for you.
Right.
You got to walk quieter. I don't know.
Just walk around in my socks.
That ground's pretty soft by those pines.
It is.
I don't think you're doing wrong.
If we're going to talk about footwear, too, I will give a plug for gum leaf boots. I've been rocking those for quite a while, and it's hard to explain to somebody until they put a pair of them on and go do some type of activities that they've done in conventional rubber boots, and then you realize, you're like, oh, this is actually like a different piece of footwear.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Eberhard just did a huge YouTube video on it, and I think hopefully he's getting the word out there for him. I just think it's one of those things where we keep pumping it out because we believe in it, you know? I mean, I got two pairs. I wear them all the time, man. They're really comfortable.
Yeah, and honestly, we have you to thank for introducing them to us, so we appreciate that more than you know. But I'm agreeing with you on all of that. I mean, I really am very happy with those boots. You know, I'm sure you've had the conversation with Jack too. It'd be great if you made a super insulated pair, but that's not what they do. It's definitely seasonal footwear, but it's freaking awesome.
An active boot.
Yep, it's an active boot.
Yeah, and into, you know, my feet get cold, right? So those boots are real good for me until I'm starting to do long sits. If it's going to go below 40, that's not going to be what I'm going to option to. But I do all my scouting pretty much in those. Unless I'm going to be only in hills and I know I'm not going to encounter any water, I will wear a pair of hiking boots. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I'm rocking those things because the comparison of trying to cover miles and, you know, a pair of Burleys or the Mucks.
Yep.
What's the Irish Setter one?
Yeah, Setter makes one. Bogs. There's a bunch of different ones, but they're not as comfortable as the gum leaf for sure.
No, they wear you out, and where the gum
Not
leaf.
as flexible
But
either. They're like stiff.
Yeah, I've always said. I feel like I could actually say honestly that I'm nimble in them, where I would never make that statement when I'm wearing my big boots, you know. But I need my big boots to stay warm. I love my big boots too. It's all
they're all
part of it.
It's all a certain. You need pieces for certain hunts, right? It's just how it is.
Yeah.
If you're hunting the full season, then you get different stuff for different types of the hunt, different types of the year. Like it's an airplane flying around here.
That's fine. Better than the dog breaking in like he did before.
What we were talking about relaying good information, you know, that was one of those things about when Jack a few years ago had reached out to me, introduced himself, and I said I would demo some boots out and give him some feedback because he was kind of interested in selling these. He thought there would be value in these boots to deer hunters.
Yeah.
And so he sent me a pair, and I kicked the crap out of them for quite a while before I got back with Jack and said, yeah, all right, these things are awesome. Like, I'm all in on telling people that these are great boots. So not that we have any kind of really working relationship. I just love their product. I like Jack. So you guys know my day job is a plumber, 40, 60 hours a week. That's what you're going to find me doing. And so we have to keep our boots on our trucks because we might be going down into a flooded basement, working in wet concrete. Who knows? And I sent Jack some pictures a couple times, and I think I made him uncomfortable. He's like, what are you doing to my boots?
Good.
You know? But that was kind of my point to him, is like, this is reality for me. If I'm going to spend a lot of money on a pair of boots, they got to do a lot for me. And unfortunately, what I'm not doing all the time is deer hunting. So I like wear that, you know, that I can wear. I often hunt just in my leather work boots, you know, more often than not now. I like footwear that has multi-purpose.
Well,
and so
and if you're going to spend that kind of money on something, it better be multi-purpose. I'm with you there because, you know, when I was in the field doing what I did in the trades, it was great to be able to have a pair of leather work boots that were comfortable enough to wear after work onto the next family function or whatever, and then get back in the truck and go chase a call after that. So if you're going to spend that kind of money, it better function.
Oh yeah, I'm in agreement. That's how I am with my clothing for the most part too. Like, this year especially too, as I get older, I just more and more, I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be uncomfortable in any capacity. And so that might mean that I'm just wearing a pair of Wrangler 4-way stretch pants early in the hunting season. I'm not wearing, a pair of like specialized hunting pants or a pair of Carhartts, or I've been buying some of this athletic wear from that company in Minnesota, WSI.
Mm-hmm.
They make, it's American made. It's athletic apparel. They sell to like base layers and socks and underwear and other garments to MLB, NFL, NHL, a bunch of college teams. And then his the owner and his wife Priscilla, they both have a passion for the outdoors. So they've moved some products, more specifically marketing them towards the outdoor market, the hunting and the fishing and the active wear stuff. And for the kind of hunting that we do, people spend a lot of time scouting, a lot of time hiking from location to location, a lot of time on the move, and just want to be comfortable. That stuff's exceptional. So more and more, when I'm looking for clothing that I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the fall and winter, I'm definitely looking at sales rack stuff outside of the hunting industry. Now, I'm still a sucker for an awesome camo pattern. I mean, if there's an option to buy something that's not camo or camo, I'm going to be buying camo. I loved camo before I ever had any use for it. And so I'm still a sucker for an awesome camo pattern, but I like to be comfortable. So things have to fit right. And that's just the same thing. I might wear the same garments that I wear a day's worth of work to go deer hunting, because I know they're going to keep me warm, they're going to keep me dry, they're going to keep me comfortable. And same thing with the boots, just return on investment. That's a critical thing for me.
Time, man. I'm 34 now.
You're a young pup.
Whatever, care, man. I want to be comfortable too.
That's an okay age.
Yeah, it's an okay age. She's okay.
Right. But no, I'm looking at saddles this year, and I'm eyeing up the new Method by Latitude Outdoors. It's a 2-piece system, and I got 2 kids. I'll probably have more than that, and they're young. And the number one injury in hunting is falling out of a freaking tree stand. And to me, I hung out of a saddle last year. I'm not getting some sort of weird saddle train here. I'm not that guy. Maybe I am. It sounds like I might be, but there's just a shit ton of benefits to those things.
Diaper-wearing tree ninja.
Go ahead.
I'll put it depends on.
To us, Eric.
But
come on.
But I was really excited, man. I tried this thing out
OKS Hunter.
for the first time.
What you got?
It was neat. I liked it. I didn't have to carry something on my back. It was lightweight.
No, there is something to be said about.
It was
good. I don't have to carry nothing.
It was good. But
Mister, I go to the gym every day, so I work out.
Hey, wait a minute. How much did that saddle weigh without the strap?
I don't know. Dude, what is the deal with this shit with these guys? I see these forums.
What
man.
is the deal?
I'm like,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't give a shit what my stand weight. It's not light, but it just makes me feel bulky. I can't bend down a freaking branch without getting stuck like a turtle, I like to feel like a ninja.
You are a ninja. A ninja of what we don't know.
Full disclaimer.
Yeah.
I got confirmation email today that my saddle was going in the mail today.
Sweet. Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. All kidding aside, there's room.
It a shot.
There's room in the toolbox for every tool.
That's true. Yep.
If you know how to use it.
Mm-hmm. What if you are the tool?
If you are the tool, you're an extremely large tool. You take up the space in the entire box.
Yeah, I'm Greg had a real fun time getting my gear squared away with me. He's like, "Oh my god!" Every time I bust something, he's like, "Good."
Hey Eric, did you get a string put on that bow yet?
I talked to my buddy. He's like, "You know what? You probably don't need one."
Whatever.
Yeah, Greg's more. You guys are gear junkies. See, I'm just like, I'll never forget when I showed up to come shoot your archery league. I got there. I didn't have any fucking arrows.
Fucking arrows are hitting the target sideways. I don't know how the hell you managed to do it.
But I was doing good. And I was like,
I was doing great. You know what it was? It was the extra large Busch Light that you drank. Freaking aiming fluid.
Yeah, I don't have to second guess myself.
What's with is it a Wisconsin thing to still have an old IV tourniquet tied to your peep sight? What's the deal with that? I see all these Wisconsin people.
Oh, no.
Like
Don't include me in this shit. Okay. This is Eric.
Okay.
This is Eric that we're pointing the gun at. Okay. Yeah. Get your shit together.
I don't even know what that
Use-
is. That's where I'm at.
That's that piece of rubber that snaps you in the face when you pull it back for the first
What
time
do you
in
do?
5 months.
What does that even do?
It aligns your peep.
Then what do you do if you don't have that?
You go with the right kind of peep and
Have it
string.
served in by,
You have it served
yeah,
in.
you have it served in by a professional.
Yeah, none of this.
So does that mean I have to get a new string?
What did I tell you?
That's,
what did I tell you?
That's your reasoning?
Hey, don't fucking listen to me.
Something.
Yeah, this guy wants me to spend all my money.
Something.
He's
I was
a
looking at these
tightwad.
broadheads, $100 for 3 of them.
Hey,
And I'll probably do it, but
100
holy
you
shit,
know
like
what?
I gotta see
You
some
shoot what
deer
you want.
first.
That's all I'm gonna tell you. You shoot what you want. I shoot what I like. I shoot.
I will say
accurately
that
with
my
it.
bow is really
I
comfortable.
did send you video confirmation
Yeah,
today
yeah.
that I was punching the bullseye with those broadheads.
Yeah.
No problems.
All right. Well, screw some of mine. We'll shoot them in the garage when we're done.
Yeah, we're gonna need a Sidewinder missile to keep track of that.
We'll just
thing.
take out the shitty fridge that I got to hold our
Jesus
cold beer.
Christ. Anyway, it's
Kevin,
not
you got to
about
come to
us.
Wisconsin one of these fucking days.
Yeah.
We got to go to Michigan, too.
Show this guy that you don't need a piece of surgical tubing to align your peep sight.
But you don't need to not need it either.
Dude, it was all the hot.
It was the rage. It was the rage through the 90s, I will agree. And before that was the Cobra T-bar
It's
with...
funny, hey, dude, if it works.
Yeah,
If it works.
if it works.
Run what you brung.
Yeah, run what you brung.
Yeah, but that's okay as hunters. We'll just shoot whatever. Put it in my hand. I'll make it work. It's all hand-me-down stuff.
Sure.
You know, I think when I got hunting,
get
my
a
dad
string?
gave me like his onesie tree bark looking camouflage. That wasn't cool back then, by the way. It's cool now. It wasn't cool when I got it when I was like a, young kid. And I was like, well, I want the cool looking stuff, and I got that. And then I got the dual cam Darton Viper with a whisker biscuit and aluminum arrows with
We all shot
muzzy,
aluminum.
We
all shot
But I
the
shot
cool-
aluminum when it wasn't cool anymore, and everyone
So
else
did
had the
I.
fancy bows.
2117s.
I just got rid of that bow.
2413s.
Yeah. I wore Mickey Mouse boots up until like only a couple of years ago.
Not good.
Which you want to get in shape. You want to talk about packing pounds off. Put some of those on your feet and walk around the woods. 40 pounds on each freaking foot. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
It's
But
totally
we got some
unnecessary.
guys. We got some guys in our camp that rock those things.
Mhm.
I'd rather do that than have cold feet. to be
Yeah,
honest
true.
with you.
Absolutely.
Necessary? Is it necessary to drink my own urine? No. But it's sterile and I like the taste.
Disgusting. What's wrong? You.
He has a point.
He does have a point. It's on top of his head.
Oh, that's funny. So what's early season look like for you? Are you gonna battle the mosquitoes in the hot weather and try to make some aggressive moves, or are you gonna wait till things cool off a little bit and we get
No.
to pre-rut?
Before you answer that question, let's all be upfront and honest. Eric does not like hot weather. He doesn't like to sweat, and he really hates mosquitoes.
I like to
In
sweat when
fact,
I'm running,
He
but I hate
cries
mosquitoes.
more than his daughter does, and his daughter is almost 3, and she manned up and took one for the team.
She's
with
allergic to
with
mosquito bites.
with the world's largest mosquito species that Wisconsin has to offer. So, that being said, why don't you go ahead there?
Well, you could dress. If you're in the woods and you're in the shade, it'll crush you if it's hot out and you're sitting in the sun. That's miserable.
Mhm.
But for the most part, if you get up in a tree, our season doesn't open until October 1st. There's
Oh, wow.
some early season opportunities before that. But I tell you honest truth, that it stresses me out to even think about going deer hunting before October 1st because I'm just typically not ready for it. So October 1 is our opener. And you can get some hot weather. Fun to get some pretty hot, mosquito-y weather. And I don't really like that either. So, but I think I used to overdress because I used to try to stick myself into hunting gear. And now, to be honest with you, man, I've got like these super lightweight 4-way stretch Prana hiking pants. And then I buy some of those Wrangler 4-way stretch hiking pants. And the air moves right through them. It's almost like wearing a pair of shorts. They're super comfortable. They breathe exceptional. If you do sweat a little bit, they dry super fast. And then I'll wear something similar, just like a lightweight fishing shirt. something that's long, covers all my skin, keeps the bugs off of me, but it breathes. It's outstanding. And if you're sitting up there with that, I've got a super thin merino wool cap. You'd almost feel like it would fall apart. That wouldn't hold up, but Kuiu makes it. I don't know how old. It's got to be. I don't know how long Kuiu's been in business, but I bet you it was one of their first products that they offered. And the combination of all that stuff, you got a tiny little bit of breeze. You're really comfortable. And then I run a thermocell, and, I think you'd be absolutely insane not to. I was out hanging a stand this past weekend, and I could tell I started getting torn up by mosquitoes, and my thermosol had fallen out of my cargo pocket and was laying 40 feet away. I went and grabbed that thing, put it back in my pocket, and just like that, the bugs shut off. So as long as you don't have a real stiff breeze and, it's semi-calm, which if you got a good breeze, that helps keep mosquitoes away in itself. But if you don't, having one of those thermocells, and I just set that thing underneath of my seat in some capacity, and you're
Do you think 3 is excessive? I'm like trying to freaking guarantee.
He bought a 3-pack on Amazon. Let's be honest.
I'm not kidding. If it's like our season opens up 2 weeks before yours does, and actually opens up on my daughter's birthday, so I won't be out on the opener because, I remember it was hunting season before. I remember it was my daughter's birthday. My wife got really pissed. I was like, oh yeah, no, I know that. But if I go out that early, dude, I am not messing around with those damn bugs.
See, and I drew the long straw on that one. That's usually the weekend of my birthday, so that's my birthday present. Honey, that's what I'm doing that day.
Oh, you got lucky.
Yeah, I did. She's cool with it most of the time. So
You don't want to spend your birthday with me?
Oh, I spend my birthday with her after I get home. Anyway.
There you go. 2 for 1.
2 for 1.
Someday my daughter will go hunting for her birthday. That'll be what happens. But for now, at 3, it's daddy-daughter day, whatever we're doing. Anyway, dude. The merino wool stuff, Greg talks a lot about that, and it sounds glorious.
It is. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I actually plan on doing more early season hunting than I typically would. Typically, I don't really get too jacked up about deer hunting until middle of October when it does start to cool off and the bugs do subside. That's when the switch usually goes for me. And then also, once I turn the switch on, it doesn't really go off until January. And so I try to wait a little bit just so I can make amends with my family and have everything in order so that once I do flip the switch, I can just go all in. But this year is going to be quite a bit different for me. We're having a baby right at the end of October. That's what we call bullseye. And,
is that going to be her middle name or his name?
Bullseye. Yeah.
Bullseye. That'll be your call sign.
I think that's Woody's Toy Story, actually. But,
yeah, we know you got kids. Watch every damn Disney movie that exists like 200 times.
Even if you don't have kids, if you have nieces and nephews, you still got to watch it anyway.
It's true. So I'm going to actually be going really aggressive at the beginning of the season. I'm going to have to sneak some hunting in because that whole pretty much middle, from maybe October 15th to November 15th might be kind of a wash for me, to be honest with you. We're going to have things going on. My wife's going to need me at the house.
Yep. You're going to be on call for baby at any minute. Be drop of a hat.
A little bit chaotic here for a little while. And, I'm conscious of that. So I'm actually focusing on early season, and the rut is what it is. If I get to go out once or twice, cool, but I'm not really, I just don't see how that's really going to be applicable. But late season, once probably we get to like that, early December, our late muzzleloader season in archery, I'll probably be going pretty hard to paint because I'm going to be pretty pent up. And the last few years, I've had real good success in December. I love hunting December. Love it. Absolutely love it.
I agree. December, January, I don't know, there's something to be said. You're battling the elements and some deer that are pretty well wizened up by then.
Yeah, and they're piled up too. Typically if you get into deer, you're into deer. They're usually pushed into some spots. And honestly, you go up north where I go, 90% of the pressure comes from a couple weeks season. And after that, it really tapers off. And pretty quick, the deer kind of go back to their normal behavior. And I've gone up there and, whatever, December 10th, deer all day, on their feet all day. Young bucks, does, little deer. And then the last couple, was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I shot a decent buck. He was okay. He really was okay. And I shot him, it was the last day of the motor season, actually. That might have been a little bit later in the season. But regardless, I really like that time of year. So I'm looking forward to the first couple weeks of the season. I've made some arrangements and got permissions on some smaller local properties here around the house that are 10, 15-minute drive. Nothing super promising, but, potential to go out and shoot a deer, and I'm close to home. And so I'll be taking advantage of that. We do have a small farm that has a few deer on it. It's got a ton of pressure around it. And it's a pretty built-up neighborhood. Honestly, now my grandfather's kind of one of the only landowners in the area that still has land. So it's real noisy and not all that enjoyable to be out there and try to relax hunting. You're usually listening to leaf blowers running and weed whackers and kids out playing. It's almost like urban, kind of like a farm in a semi-urban rural area. But it does have some crop fields on there, and I'm putting in a little small food plot on the inside corner. And there will be some deer on there. I got a camera up right now. I think there's 120, mid-120s, 8 or 9 point buck out there right now. So, that's okay enough for me.
Hell yeah, man.
Nothing wrong with that.
Someone, let me see if I can put this out onto the okayest hunter stuff, but we got...
Oh, you can tell I like it, right?
We're having a lot of fun with it, man. It's
really do.
At the end of the day, we're all deer hunters at heart, and why wouldn't you like it?
Yeah.
If you're taking it uber seriously, I guess I can see why you wouldn't like it. But we are taking it serious to a certain extent.
You never want to stop having fun.
No, but you don't ever want it to not be fun.
Someone sent me a message today. They said, use this as you wish. And they said, where the hell was it? Tags are for filling and spikes are for grilling. I was like, all right. I was like, you don't mind if I use that? They're like, please, go nuts. It's all yours. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's great, too. Yeah, I've enjoyed a lot of spike bucks, point bucks. That's good eating deer.
It's like a deer camp deer, right? Like it's like the official mascot of deer camp.
Yeah, you're looking. I don't know how many years I went without bow hunting. I quit doing it for whatever reason, something else going on in life. But I always managed to make it out gun hunting. And I had one great year where I shot a forkhorn opening morning, and in opening afternoon I shot a spiker to fill Dad's tag. Dad said, "You see it, shoot it," because he didn't bow hunt that year, and I didn't bow hunt that year. We wanted meat. And we took them, a couple of Northwoods 11-pointers. So
we do got a call here. What do we got? Hey, you're live on the Where to Hunt podcast, Jeff.
How do you know this is me?
Because I got all of your details.
Jeff, break the skunk out of the boat.
Genki. It said Craig, but I know it's Jeff Genki.
Yeah, we don't mess around. Come on. We may be 2 beers in, but we're not that stupid.
What's up, Jeffrey?
Is this the famous Kevin Vistisen?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So you weren't going to call in and do it. It was going to be me. I'm happy I saved it for you.
Good to talk to this guy. Thought I'd call in and pick your brain on something that I'm trying to learn a bit more about here. Last year I invested.
It is. Don't let them fool you.
Last year I picked up a frame pack, and I've been dinking around with that at the midway of last season about carrying my stand and carrying my gear and whatnot into the woods. And it's nothing fancy. It's just a basic frame with a bag that attaches to it. I was wondering if you could share with some of the viewers here how you pack your tree stand, your sticks, and what bag you recommend or don't recommend, and what your experience has been with it.
Nice question.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of different ways to do it right. Dude, I'm excited you called. I was kind of nervous. I'm like, oh, God, it's a different format, right?
Kevin, don't be nervous. We do scan. We take care of business.
You got beers to calm those nerves.
It's all good.
You better be cracking something over there.
Yeah, you better just drink your beer, settle down. It's all good.
Just calm down. It'll be all right. We're here for you.
They'll call you DeerHunter Podcast later, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd forgotten about that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding everybody, Greg.
No problem, Kevin. Anytime I can help you out, I'm your guy.
We did. I think we almost did escape that. Now it's back.
DH, always in a hard place.
Yeah, we get on them.
Yeah.
Hey, deer hunting's exciting,
That's right.
It's worked out.
Yeah, shoot that chubby buck.
Well, what do you do the rest of the time after 3 seconds?
Watch deer hunting videos.
Same thing as normal. Come on.
Oh, man.
Cigarette.
Yeah, you got to see those racks,
Right?
Hornhub.
The kids calling it
Hornhub.
What's your question, Jeff? You talking about a pack?
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
It's all good.
I think get back to Kevin. He'll chime in on that.
Greg hit on him earlier on, so.
The Western style pack is the most overlooked thing for Midwest whitetail mobile deer hunting. You see these guys spending astronomical amounts of money on different stands and sticks and trying to lighten everything up, and aiders and swaders and naders and waders.
Don't forget grenaders.
They're talking about things I don't even know what they're talking about. And there's this constant move or this constant topic about everything being super light. I don't think it has to be that way if you have appropriate way to carry the weight that you're taking. In the Western frame pack, yeah, those guys literally load up over 100 pounds worth of gear and hike up and down the mountains. So these packs are designed to do that. They're designed to carry weight. There's a ton of different options. I would say it depends on, how much stuff you plan on taking with you. The way that I do, I've seen guys do it a handful of different ways. I've seen guys that'll have a pack that breaks off from their frame, and then they'll attach their tree stand to the frame and then run their pack off the back of the stand. That's not how I like to do mine, just because, I don't know, it just doesn't work out good for my setup. So I run a Kafaru Mountain Warrior, and there's a lot of other bags that are, I think, comparable to that. But one thing I will give the tip of the hat to Kafaru for is their durability. Their material builds are pretty thick. I've picked up some Sika packs that I wouldn't feel comfortable strapping a tree stand to because they're like ripstop nylon on certain parts of them, and it's just not going to hold up. Whereas the Kafaru pack, and you can find a lot of this stuff on these used forum sites. I think I paid $800 for mine, and I bought mine as a long time investment for going out west, and I had used a few different backpacks before this, and I kind of had an idea of what I really wanted, and this backpack fit my needs. So it's a Mountain Warrior. The pack itself expands and compresses from, I want to say, I can't remember how many cubic inches it is, but it'll essentially opens 4 times of the size of what it is when it's fully compressed. And so you can fill it full of basically whatever you want and then compress the bag down. There's straps down the side of it, and on the bottom of it, and on the top of it, and pretty much almost like vacuum bag everything in there. And after you get used to running it, you really figure out like where you want your stuff so that you can access it. The whole front of my bag zips open. So once you have everything sandwiched in there and compressed down, you can literally open the zipper and everything in there is like, you can see everything perfectly. It's all laid out, like mummified in there. And I can pick and grab whatever I need and put it right back in its place. And then I simply just lay the bag down and lay my stand right on top of it. And it has two compression straps that buckle together. And then you can pull these things down. And if you have your layers in your backpack will have a little bit of give still to compress once you push a rigid item. You know, you can lay that stand on it, put some of your body weight on it while you tighten those straps down. I'm telling you what, man, that thing is locked down. It does not go anywhere. If you fell off a cliff, they would find you intact with everything, you know, connected still in your bag. It's pretty bulletproof versus other ways that I've tried to do it where things are just shimmying around, making noise. You're not comfortable. And like it goes back to what we were talking about before about being comfortable. So a frame pack puts the weight on your hips. It takes it off your shoulders. Any other system, you're essentially compressing your spine because you're carrying the weight on your shoulders. Whereas when you have a good frame pack, you are putting that weight on your hips. And I can carry 35, 40 pounds of weight around and it doesn't faze me at all. And, you know, like Eric was saying, you know, I could be better about working out and eating healthy, but I am conscious to like stay in decent enough shape that I can put a frame pack on and go deer hunting with 35 pounds of gear in my backpack. And it doesn't bother me at all. I actually really look forward to it.
It's actually pretty comfortable once you get it set right. And you gotta get it set right. I've done some long humps in my day, and a frame pack is a big deal. Now I haven't thought about using it for deer hunting, but you know, I've done some backpacking and some backcountry stuff in the Boundary Waters. I got one hell of a pack that I had not even considered for deer hunting. This is like going to change my world.
Right.
I'm going to have to dig that thing out. I got a couple of them.
Look at Mystery Ranch, XO, Stone Glacier, Kifaru, Kuiu. They all make these really ultra-light, ultra-strong frames for Western style hunting. And that is the missing link.
I don't know what I got. What I got, it was like
system.
$500 or something at REI back when I was young and stupid and spending money like it was going out of style.
No, that's enough money because you can spend that on any really nice pack. I mean,
I can't spend that these days. My wife would kill me. But you know,
at a time.
We pulled up the Kifaru Mountain Warrior while you were talking about it on their website and just looking at it on the browser here, sharing the screen, and yeah, man, I can see exactly what you're talking about. This looks really similar to what I have.
Yeah, I think the one I picked up was a Cabela's Alaskan, and I want to say it was like $150 or something.
That's not
it has a
expensive,
basic
really.
bag on it, but that frame, when I went out with Greg and Eric last winter, and we went like 2.5 miles back in there, and we were practically running to keep up with Greg's long strides, but it was so much more easy to carry all that winter gear and clothing and whatnot and not have to wear it and get soaked and drenched going out there. It made a big difference. So it's just transporting it and whatnot. But that's good to know, Kevin. Thanks for that tip.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the layer thing, yeah, for sure. It could be 5 degrees out, and I'm going to be in, I'll have my base layers, and then probably like maybe a pair of like fleece lined hunting pants. And then, what I really liked last year was that, what's the guy that's over there by you that makes those hunting fleeces? Venato?
Yep. Mitch. Yep. I wore mine out.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
And I'll commute around with that all day, and I have bibs and a puffy and a shell and food and water, heat packs, everything. And I'll often have a DSLR with me. I mean, I got a ton of stuff. And, the only thing I have in my hand ever is my bow and my release. When I step out of the truck, I'm hunting. I'm not holding gear or paying attention to my gear. Once I click those buckles in and
grab and go.
Like Eric was saying about having the fit right. You know, you actually have that fit right. If you find the right frame pack for you, you'll be more comfortable wearing it than not wearing it.
Yep.
Yeah, it feels good. Like once you
Makes
get that
you wanna
fit,
do it.
it's snug. It's you like you had said, like you get excited to get that stuff on to go out. Like that's cool. I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Good deal.
Yeah,
Well, I'll let you go, but thanks and best of luck this season to you.
Yeah, we got to hook up soon, Jeff. We're long overdue.
Thanks for calling, Jeff.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Talk to you later.
Well, we can bring this plane in for a landing
Okay,
here.
man.
We're about a little over an hour in, and
Eric's a time Nazi.
I
You
am.
and I could probably sit and suck beer and keep talking.
well, we
but
could do that too. But I like to put my daughter to bed. It's a special thing.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I've got my wife and kid are inside. I'm sure eagerly awaiting me in there and falling asleep.
It's about that
It took you so
time.
long. That's funny. Well, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, we could go back and forth, and if you need a spot filled, we'll be happy to come on and be your guest. And you're not too far away that we would definitely consider even driving out by us. So you let us know if you ever need a spot filled. We're okay. We're not gonna. I mean, Greg can talk about gear and maybe some tactics. I can talk about a bunch of bullshit and drink beer. So
Shit, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'd love to get together sometime and actually do something deer hunting related. So
Come on over.
I got plans to come over to Wisconsin and deer hunt, and I'd like to have, anytime I'd like to have you guys come over during the fall and share a deer camp with you. I think that would be a really cool experience for all parties,
we
Oh,
got-
yeah.
between the two of our houses, we got plenty of space. So
Oh, yeah.
deep freezers.
Okay, it's a deer camp.
Sweet.
All right, man. Well, I'll end the live feed. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Before we completely wind down, tell folks how to find you.
DeerHunterPodcast.com. You'll find all our links there. I am pretty much spend most of any of my time doing social media would be on Instagram, DeerHunter_podcast. We do occasionally put some YouTube videos out. It's just everything's Deer Hunter Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, DeerHunterPodcast.com, and then we do have a film that is on YouTube also. It's called The Forest. It's a
I watched
minute
it, man.
long
It was awesome.
documentation of our 2018 deer season. So that's available for people to watch. Producer Jordan Suswitz and help from Jared Scheffler to make the final production piece. And it's anybody that likes deer hunt would probably like watching it. So that's on our YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Well, thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, Jeff, for the call. Well, on the live feed, we'll get this thing produced tonight so everyone can listen to it tomorrow morning on their commute. Thanks for tuning in.